All right. So I am often futzing with my hair at the beginning of a TikTok live, but I literally just got back from the haircut. I almost said the hair cuttery. No, I don't go to the hair cuttery. I go see my guy Phil. Phil is freaking awesome. And so this is really the first time I am seeing my haircut, because the funny thing is that I love him dearly. God, Phil has been making my hair look good for like ever. And yet he likes to style it a certain way. That is not the way I style it, but you know what? He cuts it the way I want to get cut. Erin, hey, I am raising to you my invisible yet powerful mug. Nice to see you. Abbott Elementary, nice to see you too. Dana Reynolds and Catherine and Beetlejoy. Boy, do I love the Beatles. They bring me joy as well. I hung around with some people this weekend who don't say they don't like the Beatles. Huh. Their loss. So, anywho, hello everybody. Yes, I am doing a TikTok live. Here I am. I'm crossing that off my list. And some of you knew I was going to show up because you're on my TikTok mailing or my Destination Decluttered mailing list. So awesome. It feels like it's been forever. It is. Hey, Laura Gibbon Voorhees is on a roll. Notice how I'm practicing saying your middle name better, and I'm not saying Gibbons like the Gibbons school. Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Hey, Laura says, I got rid of 2 ceiling fans / lights today and placemats too. Yes, it doesn't matter if it's from your ceiling to your floor and anywhere in between. All decluttering is good decluttering. So I took what I could get. Yes, I took what I could get. You ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, you are seeing something. I bet you're seeing a little bit more of the space you want. Maybe you're seeing more surfaces that are clean and staying that way. I am glad I never want to mispronounce somebody's name, but somehow my brain and my mouth don't connect all the time. So yeah. Yes, you know it, Catherine, a little BTO action. Bam, bam, bam. Such a good one. Connie Jane Rose is saying, I've put 4 bags of donations out of my closet working on number 5. Awesome. Kat Roby, she's got her Beth blinders on. Planned Beth blinders for my laundry and kitchen tidy. I love it. Very cool. Ms. Crentis, nice to see you. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. As I said, it's funny because we were away this weekend and I kind of get in the habit. Notice how we get in the habit of doing things. I get in the habit of doing Destination Decluttered TikTok lives. If we've not met before, hey, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I do TikTok lives. I do paid one-on-one coaching with people. I have a free mailing list. I love it. Heidi D says, I cleaned up a literal pile of clothes yesterday. Awesome. I realized my clothing is dwindling down to a precious few, but I don't see any. Oh, I love it. Let me just try to finish my own thought for myself. I don't see a lot of clothes out there that make me excited to buy them. So you tend to see me in the same outfit, a hoodie and a black t-shirt. Now, I was out in public going to public things, and I realized my external, just so you guys know, my dress-up hoodie is a long, like charcoal gray sweater. That's the version when I go out in public. And then I got to find something else to wear besides yoga pants. Natalie says, I set my robot vacuum on a schedule, so I have to pick up the floors every day. What a cool idea. Notice the things you do that help you not just get decluttered, but stay that way. Getting decluttered is a certain process. Staying decluttered is a similar yet different process. Yeah, Erin, yeah, it's or as we like to say, my Sunday go-to-meeting pants, it's like, you get comfortable at home and you work from home and you don't have to wear those uncomfortable clothes like you used to. Or then you have to when you realize how much your body has changed since you put on trousers or slacks and you're like, oh, I don't want to go there. Oh, interesting. Kat Roby says they just got one of those vacuums and mops. My brain is exploding and we haven't mopped. Very cool. So notice the things you are doing that are giving you the life you want, the decluttered life you want, and let's give those things a round of applause. Okay? The cool thing is the stuff that you're jammed up about. Like if you have one of those robot vacuums buzzing around and it got caught on something and it got stuck, you wouldn't just let it stay there until it ran its battery out, or maybe you would, I don't know. But if your robot vacuum got stuck, you'd be like, hey, little robot vacuum, let me see what's getting you unstuck. And you'd flip it over and you'd realize that it ran over a marble or something. You'd pull that out so it can go again. Decluttering is like the same thing. Except instead of in your little robot vacuum, it's the robot vacuum of your head and your heart. To say, what is the thought? What are the words even? What are the words in my head that jam me up, that stop me from doing stuff? And usually it's a very negative, unhelpful, what I call your backseat driver. And it's almost like, it's like a little puppet here going, oh, you'll never do this. This is too hard. You've been messy all your life. You have no energy. You're too busy. I can't do this. This is difficult. Meh. Right? Kat Roby says, so Beth's so amazing with the metaphors. It's metaphor is like one of my many love languages, okay? But it's so true. If there was something jamming up, I always like to go back to my favorite metaphor, because it's one we all know of, is you being a driver in an automatic, or not even automatic, an automobile. If your car was not running well, if it was going chunka, if it felt like you had a flat tire, if it didn't feel right, if you were trying to accelerate and it wasn't working, you would get that stuff. You would pull over and see what the deal was. And if you didn't know how to solve it, to say, I'm doing all the things I know how to do. And for me, honestly, what I know how to do in my car is very little. I'll check to see if there's gas in the tank. Yep, there's gas in the tank. I'll check my oil, make sure I get oil. They have a little guide for that. I will get out of my car and I would see if I had a flat tire. I could flip the hood of my car, but when I'm flipping the hood of my car, if I look in there, I don't know what's going on. So then what I do is I call somebody who does. It's the same thing with your house, your body, your brain. Catherine says, sarcasm is my love language, or is it a coping mechanism? Ooh, you tell me. Now, I can be sarcastic like nobody's business. Hell, that was probably one of my very first secondary languages, was being snarky and sarcastic. And at times, oh my God, I am all about the cheap laugh and the sarcasm. But you know what I realized? Being sarcastic about stuff after a while I begin to feel kind of crappy about it. So I realized being sincere and still getting a laugh is kind of fun, because to me, sarcasm can be a very distancing thing. Yeah. That's just being truthful. Yeah. And you know what? We all do what we can to survive and hopefully thrive. I know myself that I really enjoy hearing people explain possibly big concepts in really simple ways, because I don't, why use fancy words when simpler words will do. And if I'm stuck, I want some help. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be just sitting there on the side of the road being, well, I was on the way to the beach and here I am in, Smyrna. I'm at the Smyrna rest stop and my car's not going. I guess I'll just sit here and hope somebody notices and asks if I need help. Oh, I guess I'll just sleep here. I was going to the beach. No, don't do that. Find a way to get yourself to the beach. Now, I say the beach because I'm a destination decluttered. I can't really see what I'm looking, but back here, that heart, that's your destination. Your destination is the place you want to go to. Your destination decluttered is you want your house. You're right here. You're right over here. Your house is cluttered. Can you even see those things? Maybe here, let me see. I can do this. Yeah, okay. Now my head's in the way. Over here is where we are right now today. All right? We are on a road trip, people. We are on a road trip. I'm in my car. You're in your car. I'm the lead car. I know how to get you where you want to go. It's funny. I was just talking to one of my clients, but we're heading here. See this? This is us. This is you. This is me. Obviously, I like the color orange. We are driving towards a place we want to go to. I was just on a one-on-one call with one of my clients today who literally took one of the major road trips of life, which was driving from Chicago to LA on Route 66 here in the United States. And then she drove from Palm Springs back to New Jersey. Now, that is something you do, but you also do it. It's a metaphor too, is what am I going to do? How do I get from where I am to where I want to be? And luckily, if my head is not in the way, maybe I'll try to do this. Oh, maybe. Nah, I don't feel like holding this up all the time. Or maybe I'll scoop down. He also did my eyebrows. I look like I look like I have Snoopy eyebrows at this point. What can I do to get from where I am to where I want to be? And I would just want to offer to you, you can do stuff. You're already doing some of it. You're already rocking the free world with some things. There's just a small subset of skills and things that you just currently don't know how to do. Now, I like to think of this again. I'll always go back to the car metaphor because some of us didn't learn how to drive cars early. Some of us did not learn how, and this is me totally raising my hand, I did not learn how to drive a stick shift car until 1990 something. 97 maybe? Yeah. My ex-husband tried to teach me this, but I didn't know at the time we were breaking up. So never get lessons from somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart. They're going to be quick to judge, and they will be discouraging, and they will not be nice. So I say find somebody nice who's going to help you. I think I'm nice. I can help you with decluttering. Patience. Not getting flustered. Being there with you as you're learning and helping you calm down your nervous system when you get frustrated and, oh, this isn't working. You know? Be that person to yourself. And if you don't know how to be, you can learn to be a nicer person to yourself. And this is not just me being a life coach, but this helps with your decluttering. Because you know when you're yelling at yourself that you're not doing it, it really isn't encouraging you to do it. I would say, am I right? But I'm so right in that. When you're mean to yourself, when you say this is going to be hard, when you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and just get in there, I don't care how you feel, just get down, drop and give me 20, But when you're nice to yourself, look at this. Nola Mish is saying, hello, everyone. Hello, Nola Mish. So excited to get things done. Excited. When you've got that little zhuzh, that little effervescence, that sparkly quality, when you're like, whee, this is going to be fun, then it makes even the most arduous task slightly less arduous. Maybe a wicked lot less arduous. Not everything's going to be wicked fun, but also decluttering is not the torture that you think it is sometimes. Decluttering means you're making decisions about your stuff. But the cool thing is decluttering is you, my dears, you honing in on what's important to you. What items in your home are important to you now, and what items in your home are items that you envision in that dream, that destination of how you want your home and your life to look and live. Now, I went through this kind of organically a number of years ago where I just kept on saying, well, I love how things look in Palm Springs, California. Do I want to move there? And I was like, maybe. And then I saw real estate prices and I said, maybe not. But then I realized I'd be moving away from my friends. There's a lot of things I love about where I live. And what I realized was I wanted to make my home, the interior of my home, look and feel more like Palm Springs. So to me, I was like, well, what is that? And I started writing that down. Well, I want nice, clean, open spaces. I want pops of color. I don't want a bunch of junk. I don't want a lot of earth tones. I wrote those things down. And then when I was going through my stuff, I would be like, does this fit in my Palm Springs home or not? Now, the Palm Springs home was in my head. I still live in Pennsylvania. But the more I kind of ran it through that filter, the more my house became transformed that the only thing missing is living in the desert. Yeah. Beikang says, why is it that people collect so much stuff? In the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, nobody cares about the end. They care about where you are. Now, Beikang, are you a collector? If you're not, that's okay. But people collect things for a lot of reasons. I am what I like to call a recovering collector. What does that mean? It's like I grew up raised by collectors, raised by wolves. I got brought along to Brimfield in Massachusetts when I was a baby. As we used to say, when it was once, 2 fields and one time a year. So you learn that one of the things you do with your money and your time is you go out and look for things to buy with your money and spend your time looking for. That can be enjoyable to some people. You know? There we go. Baking says, I guess my guilty pleasure is books. It's the only thing I buy. And it doesn't need to be a guilty pleasure. Nope. No pleasures, unless they are harmful to other people or animals or living things, no pleasures should be guilty. Enjoy the things. I love reading. I am going to flop down on the bed tonight and read a book because I'm enjoying it, but also it's due at the library on Friday. Now, I think I can renew it, but I also want to read it. So, yeah, you know, but you notice, if you buy books, you can also get them out of the library. You can also, you know, go thrifting for them. You can ask somebody if they have it and borrow it, you know. Now, Michelle says, I like to change my decor with the season. I used to like to do that too. And then, I mean, because I grew up thrifting and antiquing. And then the jobs that I got were in retail. I worked at Pier 1, I worked at Mikasa, I worked at Filene's. I used to sell stuff. So I used to be surrounded by that seasonal decor all the time. And I thought that was a really cool idea. And it was until it wasn't for me. At a certain point, it became fun. It was fun. And then it stopped and it wasn't so fun anymore. It felt more heavy and like an obligation. Maybe that you feel the same way. I don't know. Kim Jenner, nice to see you. It's been a while since I've been able to catch you. Yeah. This is an afternoon one. I had to fit this in where I was able to. And I've got it between a hair appointment and I have a consultation at 4, so I have a hard stop at 4 o'clock. But I do these TikTok lives. For those of you, again, just meeting me, I do these TikTok lives. Often I'll do them once a week, once a day, every day a week, unless I'm traveling. And even sometimes I'm traveling. If those of you who caught the one I did on Friday from the parking lot of a nightclub in Ocean City, Maryland. But yeah, I do these TikTok lives because I know how much people have told me it helps to have somebody that they can, you know, who understands what it's like to be cluttered, but also is further down the road who I am no longer cluttered. I literally, when I'm trying to make, you guys might notice there's like a lapse of me creating like the recorded videos. I don't produce them as much as I do because I'm running out of stuff to declutter in my house. And luckily my husband is amenable to me helping him declutter some of his stuff, but even that we're running out of, you know? Yeah. And here we go. Yeah, try to go to the library and go to the library rather than buying books. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Hell's Bell says, my mom was a hoarder. In the end, taking her to hospice, she only wanted to take her purse and her jacket. Yeah, people struggle with clutter. They sometimes don't even know why they do it, but collecting things around them makes them feel better. Now, Big Hang, I want to just lovingly remind you that you have the things that are important to you. Other people have the things that are important to them. Now, if you think seasonal decor is just eating up our time for more important things, that's your opinion about that for you. Other people may derive pure joy out of buying and decorating for the season. So don't clutter shame people, okay? But just notice you have an idea of something that works for you and what doesn't work for you. Carla Jane, nice to see you. Talk about moms going in and only wanted to take a purse and jacket. I love this. Carla Jane says, my friends have been so excited they finally can see my mom's kitchen floor. Yeah, that's a big deal, huh? If you haven't seen the floor in a while, that surface can be something lovely to see. Now, Michelle says, I like to purge my house with the new season to keep my collecting at bay. Yeah, notice that whole notion of a bay, keeping it at bay. You're keeping the levels kind of, at a certain point. You're not letting it accumulate, but sometimes it does already. Monk, nice to see you. There we go. I love it. Yeah. And people will collect things at a certain point that bring them joy, and then they do that for a while, and then they don't. I have like a whole list of things that I used to collect that they just made me happy at the time, and now I'm kind of like, meh. Fiesta ware, vintage postcards, cheesy plastic snow domes, and like kitschy souvenirs from tacky, seaside towns. What else have I collected? I started collecting salt and pepper shakers, did that for a while. Started collecting Marimekko clothes from Uniqlo, stopped that for a while. There's a lot of things you can do with your money and your time. And you get to choose it. And if it brings you joy, there's nothing wrong with it. What ends up being the problem, though, is that if you struggle with letting go of things, then this stuff piles up if you're not using it, you know? And the times they are changing. Your tastes will change. Your size will change. The things that bring you joy, the things that brought you joy when you were at age 5, are they the same things that brought you joy at age 10? Are the things that brought you the joy at age 10 the things that brought you joy at 15? You see where I'm going here. Some of the things that brought me joy at 15 still bring me joy here at 58. I love the Beatles, macaroni and cheese, a good pop song, some garlic, some ice cream, you know. But sometimes your tastes change. Yeah. Now that's fun. Beth Strope says Fiesta Ware is made about 30 minutes from my house and I don't have any. Yeah, and you know what? And I used to totally like make detours on road trips to go by, what is it, Newell, West Virginia? Yeah. See, somebody collects teapots, just the right shoes. Yes, Fiesta Ware used to be the thing too. Fiesta Ware to me, and it's always about a bit of that kind of scarcity versus abundance. When it's everywhere, oops, sorry, I dropped something. Clean up later. When things are everywhere, it becomes maybe less adventurous. But when you find like that diamond in the rough, ooh, look what I found. You know. There we go. Shauna and Guard Puppy says I'm going to throw away 23 things, something every day. There we go. Just the right shoe miniatures. Okay, there you go. See, collectors. Let's see. Yeah, I got rid of my dad's old fishing poles. They were old and bad. I offered them for crafts, but told me everyone, I don't want you to take them if you won't use them. Yeah, I'd rather throw them away. Yeah, I love how, Carla, you're being mindful to not declutter. You're to not clutter up somebody else, you know? And I love it. Shauna is saying, I've been decluttering after raising 4 kids, and it's taken me 6 years, but I'm almost done, you know? And yeah, decluttering is a process, but it can be a fun, organic process. It's not a race. To me, it's learning about yourself, saying, what did I like back then? What do I like now? And what I like now something I want to see in my future? A lot of stuff that's out on the market today has a very short shelf life. That's so it'll become out of fashion, and so then you go buy something to keep in fashion. You know? Yes, Beetlejoy, another reason I think you rock, but I think you're pretty cool too. You know? Yeah, there we go. Linda Mosergear said, Pioneer Woman rolling pins. Now I don't want them, and I'm ready to sell. Well, hopefully, here's the thing I will share with you guys. I feel like I'm leaning in and telling you a secret, okay? I don't say this to show off, but throughout my life, I have evidence of being kind of an early adopter about things. What I mean by this is I felt years ago, a number of years ago, it was time for me to declutter. That was decades earlier than some people, but I'm sharing that with you now is that if you are listening to me and you have something that you have collected and you don't want anymore, we are early birds. We are decluttering before the masses are even realizing it. So if you have stuff you think you want to sell, I highly suggest you go look on eBay now. You look on Etsy. You see how much people are getting for those things, and you start to sell your stuff now sooner rather than later, because that there will still be somebody out there collecting. Give it a few years and there's going to be a surge of people wanting to get rid of their stuff, and much fewer people will be wanting to buy your stuff. Okay? So notice that. I am giving you a clue that we are early birds on this whole thing. I guarantee there's going to be like a surge of them. Okay? So if you think you're going to sell something, sell it soon. At least look and see what it's worth now. Like Pioneer Woman rolling pins. You look on eBay and you look at what people purchased them for. And remember, there might always be that outlier of the really high price. That person who was willing to buy that thing already bought theirs. So now you have to see who's next in line and what they're willing to pay. Now, there are ways you can keep track of your stuff. Jacqueline Washington says, I love a cute mug, but it must be 16 ounces. It makes me proud not to buy any other sizes. Yeah, look at how you can kind of keep the reins in on, indiscriminate buying of things. If I had a mug in front of me, which I usually do, but I don't, I think it's like a 16 or a 20 ounce mug. It's funny because one of them I bought, it was totally the wrong size. And I mean wrong because I had a few. I've got like 4 mugs I use over and over again. You pretty much see them every time I do a video. We have a few more, but we keep it very, very small. Yeah. GR33NDR says, which is true, a wave of boomers will be headed to assisted living and there will be massive downsizing. Yeah, let's be. I'm a Gen Xer and I have that early bird special kind of thing going on. So take my advice, like heed that, if you want to sell anything, Now, hey, Mars says, I can't believe it, but unaccomplished 3 decluttering goals this weekend. Maybe I accomplished. I would like to think that you accomplished them versus unaccomplishing things. That's a cool word. I unaccomplished it. I so did not accomplish anything. I unaccomplished something. Now this is fun. Marlou says, just recently organized my photos. Feels so good. Yes. As I always like to say, cue the Chuck Mangione because it feels so good. Now, photographs in my family tree are going to be the next things that once I have a tiny table down the basement that has a bunch of kind of just random stuff on it. I am slowly whittling that stuff out. I will be doing that next. But this is one of the reasons why I show up to help you declutter is because when you do it and after it's done, it feels so good, Now, this is, and Carla Jane, I love this. I'm going to reread it, but this is such a life lesson too. So listen up, everybody. Carla says, something I have learned. Listen when people talk to you. Just because they like something doesn't mean they want more of it. It's true. It's true. I have learned that myself. You try to be nice and you think somebody collects 101 Dalmatians from Disney. Somebody else really likes to do a fondue party. Another person really likes, 70s glam rock. Whatever it is. Somebody likes, I did this thing with David Bowie on it. I thought of you. We like to think of people, but let's not also. We love our friends. Let's just not add to their clutter. Okay? So be mindful of that this gift-giving season. Can you gift something to somebody that has a short shelf life? Cookies, for example. Something that you eat. A flower. A gift card. Something like that. Okay, yeah, there we go. I accomplished. Okay, thank you, Mars. All right, so decluttering goals, having a decluttering goal. That's your destination. Your destination is your goal. I'm here, I want to get to there. And doing that feels good. That's a road trip, right? All right, Jim Girl is asking for ideas to organize lots of photos. I got a handful of them. First of all, anytime you're organizing anything, categories are going to be your BFFs. So categorizing your photos. Now, this may sound morbid, but I'm morbid. I have been to a number of funerals this year, way too many. I am going to one in like 2 days. One of our neighbors just unexpectedly, we didn't even know she was sick, she passed. Get the photos categorized by person. If you have pictures of yourself, start with that. Cull out all the pictures of yourself and pitch the ones where you feel like you look crappy. Save the ones you like of yourself in an envelope so when you die, somebody can make a slideshow presentation or a piece of cardboard to put your pictures on. Categorize them. The ones that you don't know who the people are, find out who they are. If nobody knows who they are now just lost to history. So find out who people are. Better yet, and also label your own photos so future generations will know who these people are. Now, GR33 says, I'm a serial hobby person. I've gotten rid of kayaking gear and some of my bicycles. Yeah, notice how we have chapters in our lives. Oh, that's when I used to do South Philly line dancing over at the church in Norristown. Oh, that's when that's when I did tap dancing. I guess some of my things are dancing related because I'm not athletic. That's when I was really into vintage campers. That's when I used to collect whatever. That's when I was really into cooking like kitschy vintage recipes. We all have those chapters in our lives, those things that keep it interesting for a while. If they didn't, we'd be pretty boring, Katie Lou says, I gave my cousin back all the things she gave me. I said, thanks, but no thanks. All right, there we go. There we go. User 82746. I'm a crafty person and joke about making my own funeral photo displays now. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and actually, how'd that go? And I'm glad, Katie Lou, I'm glad it went really well. Because notice how you can say something and the energy behind what you say changes how somebody receives your words. Judginess, bitchiness, thanks, but no thanks. Versus, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I really don't want them, but thank you. Totally different. And yeah, Erin's got the phew, I said it with love and appreciation. Exactly. Notice how when you talk to other people, you can say the same words, but your tone and your energy behind it is going to have a different effect. So notice this when you talk to yourself as well. All right? Talk to yourself with curiosity and non-judgment. Do not beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. It is not going to help you. And it is not a sign of weakness if you need to get help with something you're struggling with. It's not. It's actually the very most powerful thing you can do, because you're realizing the things you do well, and you're also realizing your limitations. I mean, shoes. We can only walk so far in bare feet. Shoes. Oh, I feel bad. I should be able to walk in my bare feet from here to whatever. Shoes just make it easier. Use the things that make getting through life easier. It's a tough life. It's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life for us. And I wasn't even able to go and try out for that because I had to go babysit my sisters. But I digress. There's tough stuff going on in the world. Don't make it more hard for you. Okay? Now, Carla Jane says, when I started working with Beth, I knew my declutter would be long-term. Basically, 2 homes, over 100 years worth of other things. But when I began to literally see myself doing things differently and feeling good about it, it has made each step forward so much better. I was ashamed, now I'm proud. Yeah, I was lost, but now I'm found. Don't be ashamed. Please, nobody, again, I think of, you have there's an unhelpful side and there's a helpful side. And on the unhelpful side, there's a bunch of words. And on the helpful side, there's a bunch of words. Shame is an unhelpful thing. Guilt, unhelpful. Judgment, unhelpful. Those things make you feel bad, and then you get stuck and you don't move forward. So let's notice this stuff, and then, on the other hand, let's do the opposite. Okay? Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed because you didn't learn a skill that is, there's over 100 people on this random TikTok live that I happened to do at 3:30 in the afternoon on a Monday in October of 2024. Do you know how many people out there that struggle with clutter that they don't even know that there's help out there? This is a generational thing. This is a societal thing. It is not your personal failing that you just didn't learn how to declutter. And it's not that everybody is a product of the generations before them. And I could write a freaking term paper on why at this point in our lives we are struggling with clutter like we never have before. But I don't like to write papers because that's kind of boring. But I would give it to AI and say, do it, Yeah. Savannah Lynn says, all the help costs money. No, it doesn't. No. Some of the help costs money. Like Carla and I, we are in a paying relationship. I'm her paid coach. But not all the help costs money. You can have a friend help you. You can help yourself. You can get somebody in the family to help you. And a lot of it isn't. You can listen to my TikTok lives. I'm here live right now, but there are I'm kind of interested. I want to see how many there are because I record my TikTok lives and I upload them to YouTube so that they are available to you to listen to and get tips and encouragement and just an hour of your day, get somebody talking nice and problem solving and helping encourage you. Yeah, somebody says little things. This live is free help. It's true. Notice the all or nothing thinking will shut you down. As soon as you bust through the all or nothing and you say, well, it's not all, it's some, but not all, then notice how the help appears. Now, right now, according to me looking at my TikTok live, and there may be more of these because I don't know if I'm seeing the number of the public ones, there are 465 videos available free to you on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, look up Destination Decluttered, all one word, Destination Decluttered. Just like DestinationDecluttered.com if you want to sign up for my mailing list or find out about coaching. Now Katie Lou says, looking at it through a third party's eyes help so much. And even better when those third person's two eyes have one goal in mind, which is you helping you decide what stuff you want to keep. Because the other people can be judgy too. Don't prejudge yourself, but there are judgy people out there who are going to say, why'd you buy all this? Oh, gosh, why did you buy all this? Why do you have so many of these? I mean, I've been it myself. I feel bad for having been it, but I grew up learning how to be judgy. I feel bad for being judgy in the past, so I'm trying to do better now. And I learn when I'm not judgy to myself, I get a lot more done and it feels better. You know? Okay, so Savannah Lynn, I really need physical help. All the work to move everything. Okay, I get that. See, your family would help you. Yeah. Oh, Carla Jane, you are the sweetest. You guys, here, I don't know. This is totally, I got to share with you. I am Gen X, so I'm so hypersensitive. I am so hypersensitive to appearing salesy that some people are like, oh, you sell something? Because I go kind of in the opposite way. Now, this is not something we planned, but Carla is one of my one-on-one clients, and she is having such a great time. She is benefiting so much from paid coaching that she just sent me money to help you, somebody, sign up for coaching. So she just sent me, let's get 3 more people started on with one-on-one good stuff. Okay, so Carla just sent me, she's going to take $20 off of your coaching package. Now, what a wonderful thing. What a wonderful thing for her to do. So if you're interested in that, like I have a consultation right after this, that person, if they decide to sign up for coaching, is going to get $20 off. That's from Carla. That's not from me. Carla's having such a good time. So that was so sweet of you to do that, you know? And notice, yeah, and Heidi is saying, I had a friend when the kids were little, and we used to spend one day in her house and one day in mine. You know why? It's because we can't hear the stories that their stuff tells them, and vice versa. They don't know the story behind all of this stuff, but man, you look at these things, and this is so funny. It's like the Bionic Man. Beep, 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 beep. Your eye looks at something, and then a message, a story is told in your heart, a little video, just like the Bionic Man. They can't see that. They look at that thing and they say just a lampshade. It's not the lampshade you bought when you were on vacation in Florida like almost 20 years ago. You know? Yes. Aw, Carla Jane, it has changed my life. My family and friends could hug your neck. Aw, very sweet. Such good stuff. Yeah. You know what? This is the thing I love about Destination Decluttered, you guys. Such cool people. I did a decluttering party, which I think I'm going to do more of in the new year because it had such a good vibe to it. And I just got rave reviews from people. What that was I picked a day and a time. We all showed up on Zoom, and then we said, okay, go to your corners. Do whatever you're going to do for 20 minutes. I'll keep track of the time, and then I'll give you a heads up. And then we come back, and are you good? Okay, you're good. Okay, take a break, take a pee break, get something. Okay, another 20 minutes. Go back and do it. We did that like 2 or 3 times. And everybody was saying how nice everybody was who participated. You know what? It's a cool group of people. And when you feel like you're alone doing your decluttering, it can be really helpful to know you're not alone. You know? Now, I love it. Beth Strope is saying, I cleaned out spring clothes and got out winter wardrobe. Yeah, it's getting to be that time of year here too. 4 garbage bags of clothes to give away. Okay, so notice that. See how good it feels to release the stuff you don't need anymore. Yeah, Plant Lady said, started selling stuff that motivated me to get rid of stuff and giving it away to someone else in need it. Yeah. Judy, oh, nice to see you, Judy. I will see you in about 20 minutes, right? Yeah, notice how it can feel really good to realize, first of all, if you have clutter, you're a lucky person. You have an abundance of stuff. You have too much stuff. Think of how lucky you are to not even just have the right amount, but to have too much stuff. All decluttering helps you recalibrate that. And typically the clutter is the stuff that when you look at it, it makes you go, ugh. So all decluttering does is helps you remove the stuff that you don't want anyway. Yeah. So I love it. Natalie is saying that party was motivational. Scheduled it with the family that I was busy. Yeah, notice when you schedule the time. And this is one of the things that coaching helps you with. At least coaching with me. Boundaries. And I mean this in the lovingest way. Boundaries. Holding on, keeping promises to yourself. I'm going to show up on Saturday at noontime and I'm going to declutter for an hour and a half. And then you show up on Saturday at noontime and you declutter for an hour and a half. Look at you keeping your word with yourself. Look at you saying, hey, no, don't bug me then, I'm busy. You know, that's why they have doors. That's why they have locks. That's why they have do not disturbs on things. Holding your time for your own to do something, you know. Oh, interesting. Judy, let me help you with that. All right, so I'm going to make sure we do something here. I'm doing a little, I know I'm multitasking, people, but here. Oops, I am such a poor typist. Okay, there we go. All right, I sent it on Wednesday at 13:52, but I will send it again. There we go. Boom. It came from Beth@destinationdecluttered.com. I just resent it, so maybe you'll find it. Yeah. So if you don't get it, just email me and we'll problem solve it offline. But since you were here, I thought I'd do that. Yeah, remove the ugh. Yeah, seriously. The clutter is not the stuff that you love. The stuff you love, keep it. But also be mindful of the quantity and the quality and all that to make sure it's stuff you love. It's not the stuff, it's the stuff that there's some tension between. You want to let it go, but you're afraid of it. You're afraid of what's going to happen if you let it go. That's the clutter. It's the stuff that causes you stress. Notice where there's tension. Do I have my little thing here? Hold on. I can't find it. Okay, here, pretend. Okay, here, we'll do this. Okay, I get this piece of rope. Tension. I'm pulling it tight. I don't want to pull it too tight. There's tension because there's pulling on both sides. If there's one side, I don't like it, there's no tension. There's another side, like there's one side, I don't like it, so I'm going to give it away. Okay, easy. There's another side, I really like this, I'm going to keep it. Okay, no tension. It's the should I stay or should I go, the push me, pull you, causes tension in your body, in your brain, in your life. Clutter causes tension. You know? Rainstorms to roses. Bed knobs and broomsticks. You're so helpful. I love all your analogies. You're welcome. You know what? Analogies help me make sense of the world, so I like to help with that too. Your lives bring such peace to my day. Thank you. You're welcome. See, notice how it feels like to be peaceful. Feels kind of nice, doesn't it? Oh, Shanana, nice to see you. It's kind of like bookends. So see you in the morning, see you here. There we go. There we go. I put a link on my perpetual to-do list. Links me to your email with the live schedule. Yeah. Because you know what? When you sign up for my free mailing list, so you know what I say free. I said free. I'm not selling it to you. Go to destinationdecluttered.com/join. I tell you when my TikTok lives are going to be. I used to post it on TikTok, but then I realized I wanted to save some good stuff for the people who are truly interested. And it's such a low-hanging fruit type thing to sorry. TikTok is sending me stupid messages. I know how to do this, okay? I'm no dumb bunny. But sign up for my mailing list and you find out when I schedule my TikTok lives. Pretty easy. Yeah. And then I declutter during the live. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, you guys, nobody has to watch the screen to hear what I'm talking about. Think of it like it's a podcast that just happens to have a picture to it. The only thing you will see me, okay, I could probably give like a nice summation of like the one thing to watch what I do with my hands and pointing and stuff like that when I'm doing a TikTok live. I will talk about the 3 layers of clutter, okay? So watch my hands now. I'm left-handed, so I'll use this one. You've got your surface clutter at the top, you've got your stored clutter in the middle, and you've got your sentimental clutter down where your heart is. Okay, so that's one way I say look at the camera. The other one is kind of a line down the middle. Now, Shanana, we did this today when we fold the paper in half. On the one hand, you have thoughts in your head that make you feel a feeling. Notice head, heart, feeling, hand. Okay? On the one hand, you have unhelpful thoughts that make you feel kind of ugh. And then when you feel ugh, what you're typically doing with your hand is one of 2 things. One is you're not actually decluttering. You're just not doing anything. But then also you might be hanging on to stuff, clinging to it versus letting it go. On the other hand, notice I'm now showing you, on the other hand, if you have more helpful thoughts in your head, which you can create, even if the negative ones show up first, that's a clue of where to flip it over on its belly. More helpful thoughts make you feel better in your heart, head, heart, hand. In your head, you've got the thought. In your heart, it makes you feel a feeling. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. And when you feel better, you're going to declutter. When you feel better, you're going to pick up something and be more easy to release it. Then usually I'll say, another thing I point to would be like we're on a road trip. You're starting here every day I'm shuffling. Every day you're starting here, but you want to be somewhere else. So you chug along, but you do it like a road trip. You make it fun. You chunk it down. You stop for snacks. You go pee. You putter around. You get something and you get into hyperfocus, but then you can leave and you can come back and you can still have energy. So those are pretty much the only times you would need to watch the screen. So as Laura Gibbon Voorhees just says, I declutter during these lives. So notice that is a nice boundary of time. I typically do my TikTok lives for an hour. Now I do them at different times of the day because I like to keep it varied myself, and I have a schedule I work around because I have one-on-one clients I work with, and they're from all parts of the country, so I'm coaching at different times of the day. But I say this because you could have an hour of your days. All you need to do is find out when I'm doing a TikTok live. And then as Kat Roby says, she puts on what she calls her Beth blinders. She knows when I show up to do a TikTok live, she has said to herself, I am going to listen and enjoy myself, but then also do some decluttering while she is yakking there on TikTok. I'm not just sitting there scrolling. Now, I sit and scroll like you do too. Sometimes that can be soothing, but other times it can feel really good too. I've been here on since 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got about 13 minutes left to have done even just 45 minutes of decluttering while you're listening to somebody talk about clutter. Because then the neat thing is, if you got stuck during your decluttering while I was on the TikTok live, you could chime in and be like, hey, I'm stuck right here. Can you help me? Talk about free help, Now I love it. When I know, Carla Jane says, when I know I will meet up with Beth on Wednesday, I know that is my goal day. To me, like that's my destination, my goal. Have things done, have ideas going forward. Yes, here's what I did, here's what I want to do, and we're going to feel good all about it. Yeah, now Mars says, these TikToks themselves are very motivating. I want to tackle a clutter pile right now. Go for it. Go for it. You got 12 minutes. You would be surprised. You guys, time management, managing your time. People will say, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to declutter. You never realize how long 5 minutes is unless you have a staring contest with somebody, right? Oh, where did I put that thing? I think I just moved it. Oh, and I have a little timer. Time for timer. Carefully poke the toothpicks in. You know that one, right? All right. I actually, it was a little bit cluttery, so I decluttered it. But picture this. Me staring at you for a minute. See, I can barely make it even 10 seconds, and it feels kind of awkward. So you would be surprised, even in 1 minute, how much decluttering you can do. You can get started, and a body in motion tends to stay in motion. You overcome your inertia, and you start doing something. Now, I love it. Kat Roby says, sailing through the tidying, a cooking, just listening in. Doo-doo-doo. Yes, and there we go, Carla and Oceanana, because Oceanana just started coaching with me, and she took Carla up on one of her decluttering discounts. And so now I introduced them, and now they know each other. Now, this is the neat thing. We are the world. We are the children. I'm in Pennsylvania. Carla's in Alabama, and then Oceanana, Louise, is in New Hampshire. All of us would never know each other except for TikTok, and we all have gotten to know each other because we all just happen to have too much stuff in our houses and we want to do something about it, So, there we go. And here's the thing. Carla Jane says, I am getting there today. Slow moving, but I've gotten a couple of things done today. Here's something. Yeah, there we go. Beth says, I have changed to a done list. Yeah, to do. First it was to do, and now it's ta-da! It's a done list. It's not to do, it's done. Inspires me to do more. It inspires me. When you inspire yourself to do more, you are generating you're like your own energy battery machine. You're not looking for external, you're generating that, and it feels good. You want to do more. Now, Sugar says, I've been listening to you for 30 minutes while decluttering right now. Awesome. Now, Carla Jane was saying how she's moving slowly, and Oceanana and I were talking about this morning. One of the things I tell myself all the time, including today, is I may not be moving quickly, but I'm moving. I may be moving slowly, but I'm moving. Slow and steady wins the race. Greta Garbo gave good face. I know that's not how it ends, but you know. Okay, pause. I needed to hear this. The universe got you stopping and scrolling for a sec. I do these, as I said, like once a day. I keep on saying. So if you find this helpful, consider following my TikTok page. You know, and we're all on this journey together, you guys. We really are. We are on the journey between birth and death. Some of us have fewer years ahead of us than we do behind us. So I show up in your life right now. I show up in my life to remind myself to make the most of the time you have, to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Get the stuff that doesn't matter out of your life because it's causing you stress, it's causing you exhaustion, and ain't nobody got time for that. Life is short. I want your life and my life to be filled with good moments. And those don't need to have yachts or bling or fashion. It can be peace and quiet and a feel-good feeling in your heart and the time and energy to move and make things simple. Okay? Yeah. I love this. Carla Jane says, fun share. I'm going to an info meeting tonight for a trip to Ireland next year. The money I have saved, not cluttering up my house, I hope to be able to go with my daughter. Now talk about a destination. Notice how when you're excited to go on a trip, you will do things that you normally wouldn't do. You will save your money. You won't go spend it on stuff. You will feel the excitement of going on that trip, and you're not even in Ireland yet. And I have been to Ireland twice. I am freaking more than half Irish, so I know what that feels like. Notice that's why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. Because when you have a destination in your mind that you're all excited about, I have one. My husband and I are going someplace warm in end of January, beginning of February, because I don't like the cold weather. I am so excited about that. I just need to think about it, and my heart goes zing, like, ooh, that's right. I don't have to look at January, February, and March and just be like, it's bleak and horrible. I have like a little bright thing in the future that I'm working towards. And what am I doing? I'm not wasting money on stupid stuff. I'm going to save it up so that I can spend on my vacation and not feel like I'm cheaping out on myself. You know? Now Sugar. Sugar hit a really good point. Let me hit this. Yes, we are the dash between birth and death. How are you spending your dash? Yeah. Now Sugar says, I had to stop for a bit as I started crying when getting rid of stuff that no longer serves me. So I let it just flow out my eyes and experience it all. Yeah, totally. That's what it's all about, Charlie Brown. It really is. I think one of the reasons people are afraid to declutter is because you're afraid of feeling emotions. Now, the thing, it's just emotion that's bringing me over, tied up in sorrow. But you know what? All the emotions are not sorrowful. Barry Gibb. What was her name? Samantha Sang? I'm a Gen Xer. What can I say? Feeling feelings reminds you that you're not a robot and that you're not a zombie. That you feel, that's the difference between robots and zombies and people. You are a person and you feel feelings. That means you're alive. And when you feel sadness, that will make your joy all the more sweet. And allowing your emotions to flow through you means you're not kind of stopping the flow. You're not keeping them all crammed down in there like a box of crap in the basement you're afraid to look at. Open it up. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. It doesn't even last that long. You know? This helps you realize what is important, what used to be important to you, maybe still is, but also it can be a reminder of those times are gone. And I know that feeling. And it can be very bitter more than sweet, but it's what happens during life. I remember when none of my nieces or nephew was born, and now, my goodness, they're all of voting age. You know, I remember when we first moved into this house and we met our neighbors across the street. I can already feel the emotions in my face, and right now, maybe you can hear it in my voice. We just found out that our across the street neighbor, she passed away unexpectedly last Thursday. Shit like this is going to happen, people. to all of us. And then one day it's going to be us. So if you are on your deathbed, do you want to be looking back and saying, oh my God, I've left this, all this clutter for somebody else? Are you going to say, I wish I had gone to Ireland, but no, instead I spent my money on crap at Walmart? No. I hope for you that when you're on your deathbed, that you can look in the rearview mirror and say, damn, I had a great time. And I didn't let stuff that didn't matter get in my way. Now, that's where I am right now. It's kind of funny because I am learning to live with less stuff. I was so used to going out and shopping and thrifting that sometimes I'm like, oh, this is weird. I kind of don't know what to do with my free time. And then what I do is I read and I take the time to do things that bring me joy, and I move at a pace that feels like I get to do things when I want, not all harried, So, yeah. So notice this stuff, Aw. Carla Jane, you're so good. She says, bless you. You feel the feels and love the love you have been given. When your soul is ready, you will be ready. Yeah. All right. Now, Sugar says, much of it is failed art projects, crafts, which makes me feel like a failure. Nah, you know what? Here's my thing. Sugar, I will share with you. It's not who I am as of today. Yeah, I used to think I was going to be crafty, and I bought all the crafty stuff. And then I realized I really didn't want the end product, and I didn't really want to do the process. Actually, I take that back. I wanted the end product. I wanted the artwork. I didn't want to be the one to create it. I delight in seeing other people's creativity. Now that I'm not spending my money on art things that I don't use, I have money to go support artists that are really good that I love. What a great feeling that is. Don't consider yourself a failure. There is, what is it, Yoda? Yoda, the guy from Star Trek? See what I did there? I know it's Star Wars, but it's really not Star Trek, but I try to be funny. There's no failure. There's just experimenting and seeing what works and doing more of that, and what doesn't work, you learn from it. Learn from the past so you don't repeat it. If something isn't working out for you, do something different. And when you start in here doing that, your whole life is going to change. Now Curl says, my husband passed a year ago and I am decluttering. And they're saying, it does feel good to do this. Yeah, waiting till it feels good, but don't push it off too late. I wish I had done a lot of this a lot earlier. Yeah. Virtual Cat is saying, my mother-in-law passed 2 months ago. We are cleaning out, her house, 3 dumpsters and 46 bags of clothes. Carla, see, you're not alone. There is a generation of people that is not us. The ones that, as I like to say, we're the double stuff and the Oreo cookie of life. We are Gen X. Or if you're hanging out with me, you're Gen X. I'll grandmother you in, okay? And there are people who are older than us that didn't have the skills, did not know what to do with stuff, so they did the best they could. We got trained by them. So we picked up a lot of habits and things. They maybe didn't have a chance to change themselves, but you do. You can change how you think and you feel and you act about clutter. If you don't want to be cluttered, you don't have to be. But it's most important that you do something about it. Yeah, this is all good stuff, people. Now, speaking of good stuff, I literally have like 30 seconds. Judy, I don't know if you're still on. Hopefully you got the link I sent you. And I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, one of the reasons I am trying to declutter is so I don't leave a huge job to my kids. Yeah. And no poo on them. Carla Jane says, they didn't have the resources or knowledge we did. Yes, okay, Judy, I will see you momentarily. But notice this, okay? Yeah, so much toilet paper, see? Much like just really quickly, much like many of us were raised with people who were either directly affected or indirectly affected by the great unexpected depression of the 1930s. Think of how we just 4 or 5 years ago responded to COVID, grabbing onto things for fear we would never be able to wipe our butts again. Now we're dealing with the aftermath. So there's nothing wrong with you. There's just some skills you can pick up, okay? Now, speaking of that, I'm going to sign off now. I hope to see some of you on my next TikTok Live. If you're on my mailing list, you know when that's going to be. And if you don't know when it's going to be, if you're not on my mailing list, get on my mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. And I don't know, like my TikTok page, okay? Always a pleasure, you guys. And I'll see you. Oh, that's right. I got my haircut. I'll see you when I see you. Okay? Bye. Bye. There we go.